everybody. I am Jeannie Compter at 2 Flights Up, and this is
Thomas Compter.
And we are here today to introduce you to 2 Flights Up, which is in Dalton, Massachusetts, where you can play some games and have fun dancing, all kinds of cool things. And today we're going to be talking mainly about...
Today we're talking mainly about gaming. Although we do a lot of other things at 2 Flights Up also. As Jeannie mentioned, we do dancing, we do paint classes, we do private parties. But today we want to talk to you about gaming. Now, gaming in the last 20 years the gaming hobby has changed quite a bit and has grown enormously. And gaming today is not like your old Monopoly and Candyland and games like that. There's lots of different games of every possible type and style. And we brought a few along to show you. Games that take from 5 minutes to 5 hours, okay? This is an example of a 5-minute game. I can teach you this game in 5 minutes. We can play it in about 10 minutes, okay?
It's a great family game, whether the kids are, younger, 5, 6, 7, or even for grandma and grandpa, they can play it as well.
Now here's an example. A Hav is a game that is what we would call a heavy Euro game. It's very thinky, very strategic, very little luck in this game.
It's a little more difficult.
A little more difficult. This was a little on the lighter side, and you might see a version of this at Target. Okay, this is called Ticket to Ride, and it was made famous about 10 years ago. This happens to be the German edition. The original edition was a map of the US. This is a map of Germany. They actually have several different editions of that game, everywhere from Switzerland to Germany and everywhere in between. Another style of game that's popular today is what's known as a cooperative game. Now, Flashpoint Fire Rescue is an example of that. In Flashpoint, you are playing the part of firefighters trying to rescue victims from a burning building. And instead of playing against each other, you're actually playing against the game itself. And the game has rules that will make it hard for you or not so hard for you.
Also, again, a great game for families to get together and not have to worry about who's winning, because it's going to either the board or the family.
Settlers of Catan, you might have seen at Target also. This has become very popular these days, but it actually came to the US back in 1995. So this has pretty much started the Euro game revolution here in the US.
Most of our games are for kids 9 and up. Some of the games are also for younger children, but mostly 9 or up is probably the best.
And Fortune and Glory is one of my favorites.
Mine too.
This is a big game, okay, will probably take you several hours to play, but it's lots of fun, lots of just chucking dice and having a good time. If you like Indiana Jones, you'd love this kind of game. It's a great game for families, great fun, pretty light on the strategy, more on the luck, but it's a great fun anyway. We also have games in small packages. This is a card game called Love Letter that actually is a card game with only 16 cards in it, and that's the whole game. It plays in about an hour, and it's also a great deal of fun. Now today, though, we're going to talk to you in more detail about a game called Behutensburg, which is a game that Jeannie and I created ourselves. And so Jeannie's going to tell you a little bit about it.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you something about the artwork. The artwork, Thomas painted this painting. It's Schloss Schwanstein in Munich, in Germany, and we decided to put it on the box, and the name of the game, Behutensburg, came from when I was born. My last name was Behutensburg. No, it wasn't. Sorry. My name was Behutuns, and the Burg, of course, is castle. So that's where Behutensburg came about. So we just wanted to explain our game a little bit. It's a very fun 2-player game or 4 players with partners. So the main thing is you're going to build a court, buy a castle, and go out and have the most points when you're done. The whole game is, like I said, a castle. A jester is one that can be, it's like a joker. He can be, and it tells you on the card exactly what he can be. He can be a knight, a lady, a baron, baroness. He cannot be a king or queen, though. A rogue, the rogue, he does several things. Number one, he can steal from the treasury. Here's my treasury, but only from the bottom up. He can also kidnap people from the bottom up. And the last thing he can do a crime wave. So if you see your opponent has more than 5 cards in his hands, you can say crime wave, and everybody, to include yourself, has to go down to 5 cards. Then again, we have a treasury, where you always want to try to have your lowest denominator on the bottom, because if you don't, he'll come and steal from your treasury. The court is knights and ladies. Second row, baron, baronesses. Third row, a king and queen. You can have as many as you can possibly have knights and ladies. Baron, baroness equal to the amount of knights and ladies, but not more. King and queen, there's only 1 per court. So you always have to lay them down in pairs, and that's how the whole game plays. I'm going to shuffle the cards. In the meantime, maybe Thomas has a little bit more to say about the game.
As Jeannie said, the game is originally a 2-player game, although you can also play as a 4-player game, playing in teams like you would, say, with bridge or spades or something like that. You can also buy 2 sets of the games, and then up to 4 people could play individually. There are enough cards to support that. So we start the game with each having 5 cards in our hand. Now, normally, of course, we wouldn't tell each other what we have in our hand, but for the sake of the audience, I'm going to explain what I have in my hand. And in fact, I have a rogue, a knight, jewels, which is really good, that's worth 50 gold pieces, and a baron and gold. Now, as Jeannie said, I'm not allowed to lay anything down on my court until I have a pair, and I don't have any pair here. But what I do have is I have a knight, and I have at least 50 gold pieces worth of money. So I am going to send that knight out on a quest. And going out on a quest allows me to draw 5 cards. Oh. The quest allows me to draw 5 cards, so I'm going to draw 5 more cards.
Should have started off with first drawing your cards.
I should have done that. So now I've got a knight and a lady that I can lay down in my court, which I will do. And in fact, I have a baron and baroness as well. So picking all my cards in my hand back up again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay down a knight and a lady. And because I have them, I can lay down a baron and a baroness. I can't lay down the king yet because I don't have a queen. So I'll keep him, and then I must discard something. So I will discard the gold, it being the least valuable thing in my hand at the moment.
And everything is discarded face down, so nobody knows what you're actually discarding. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to look at my cards, and I'm going to pick up 2 cards. 1, 2. And I don't have any money like he had. I don't have a knight and a lady. So I am going to take my rogue, and I'm going to steal a knight from Thomas.
Oh, no.
And then since I still can't do anything, I'm just going to discard a card. And that was my turn.
Now it goes back to me, so I'll draw my 2 cards.
And as you can see, he does not have a knight here, so he has to satisfy that knight before he goes on any further on in his court.
And unfortunately, I got nothing good in that hand. I got an extra king, but remember, only 1 king per court. So the extra king might be useful for a future quest, but at the moment he doesn't do me much good. So I'm just going to discard this rogue because she has nothing to steal anyway.
I'm taking 2 cards again. Oh yeah. Now I have 50 jewel, and I have a knight that I stole a few seconds ago, and I'm going to get 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I have knight and lady, another knight and lady. I have a baron, I have a baroness, and I have a joker. So I'm putting them down so that I have less than 5 cards in my hand, and I am going to take a card and discard it face down so Thomas doesn't know what I discarded.
So, my turn again, and I'll draw 2 cards. And I drew a lady and a gold, but I don't have a knight that I need to fill in there. So I'm going to go ahead and use my rogue to steal one of Jeannie's knights.
Here he goes.
Okay, and then I'm going to put that with my lady, and then I'm going to discard another gold, and that'll be my hand.
And it just goes on and on. You always take 2 cards. And right now I have 20 money, 40 money, and another 10, that's 50. I don't have a male in my hand, so I'm just going to take my own knight, send him out on a quest to hope I get a whole bunch of new good cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, I have to tell you, I didn't get great at this hand at all, but I do have a knight that I can replace here. I have a rogue. I'm going to go steal another knight. Ha-ha. All right, and I have a baron. So I'm going to lay down my baron to match with my baroness. My joker, either I use it or I lose it. And at this point, I'm going to put it down with a lady because I can. And then I discard a card. And that is my turn.
Okay, back to me. I'm going to draw my 2 cards. And once again, I have almost nothing that is useful. I drew another baron, but I already have a baron. So I'm just going to discard and hope for better next time.
Taking 2. Well, this time I don't have anything good either. So I'm just going to go ahead and discard a card. There you go.
Okay, back to me. And this time I drew a jester and a gold, which is still not going to help me very much until I get a queen, because you know I'm still looking for a queen. By the way,
and you have to put your
and
knight
I will
back
need
there.
to replace the knight there as
Before.
well. So I can ask my opponent if she'd like to trade. Jeannie, would you have a queen that you might want to trade?
If you have a king for it,
I would trade a king for a queen.
you got it.
All right, so we're going to trade by mutual consent. And now I'm going to put a jester down for the knight, and I can then lay down the king and the queen. Now, one of the rules that we talked about earlier, but just to re-emphasize, is that when a rogue is used to go steal somebody, it's got to be from the lowest row. Jeannie can't steal my baron and baroness until she's stolen the jester and the lady. So that's something to know. And then I'll just discard there. Now, I have what we call a complete court because I have at least one of every level, and I don't have any missing parts from any pairs. So I am eligible, if I could afford it, to build a castle. But unfortunately, I don't have the money at this point.
Well, nothing much over here. Guess I'm just discarding.
Hoping for those jewels again. Ah! And what do you know? I got the jewels. Sadly, that's not enough because a castle costs 100. So I'm still...
It's only worth 50.
Still hoping for better next time.
All right, now I am going to put down a king and a queen. And that's pretty much all I really have that I can do at this point. So I guess I have to discard something. I'll discard this one here.
Okay, on my turn. I picked up 2 knights. That's pretty good. Because now I could use one of them at least to get rid of this jester. Did we mention that the jester is a minus 30 points?
Oops, we didn't mention that.
Didn't mention that. So that's why you don't want to hang on to them for too long. So I'm going to go ahead and play a knight and get rid of my jester. But I still have to discard something. So I'll just discard that card.
All right, my turn. And of course, I guess we haven't told you either that you can play this 1 round, you can play it 4 rounds. You just have to make in advance already decide how many rounds you're going to play. We're still in the first round. And I also just picked up a knight, so my jester, I can either use him or lose him. So I'm going to put him down, and since I have a baron, I'm going to put my jester with my baron, and then just discard another card. My hopes, of course, now is to get 100 money so that I can buy that castle also and go out. And I also want to mention that every single card has in text exactly what that card does and the value of it.
Okay. I've just drawn two wonderful cards, another Baron and Baroness, but alas, I can't play them because I only have one knight and lady. So I'll have to hold on to them for a little while and see if I can play them next time. Or on the other hand, I could actually put down a knight and a lady, and then I can put down my Baron and Baroness, come to think of it, and then I will just discard that guy, holding on to one card.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I'm going to be gutsy. I am going to take 50 jewel that I just picked up, and I am going to take a king and send him on a quest and get 5 new cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so number 1, I'm going to take my jester, again, that costs me 30 minus points if someone goes out, and replace him with Baroness. Then I'm going to discard him because I don't need him. I'm going to take another knight and lady, put him on my court. As you can see, my court is really stretching out, which is good because each one's points. And then I'm going to discard a card. And my king and my money is gone as well.
Okay. Here's hoping we can pull up another set of jewels. Not so lucky this time. I got a knight and a gold. That's not much good to me right now, so I'm going to discard the gold.
Almost, people, almost. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm getting there.
Okay, it's a race to the finish now as we both try to find the wherewithal to get that castle.
And not only do you have to pay for that castle with 100, but you also have to have a discard. So that's not that easy. Oh, man. All right.
Once more into the breach. Oh, so close, so close. And I'm going to discard this knight, even though that's crazy.
All right, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to take a female, which is my lady, and I'm going to discard her and get 3 cards instead of 2. That's 1, 2. No, I did not get what I wanted. Ugh. Okay, so just to make it interesting, I'm going to do nothing.
I'm going to draw 2 cards. And what do you know? I finally have the 100 that I need to buy a castle, and I have 1 discard, and so I go out. And that ends the round. And as far as scoring goes, now this money doesn't belong to me because I just spent it on the castle. Scoring goes, it's very easy because all the scores are written on each individual card. The castle's worth 50, the king and queen are each worth 50, the baron levels are all worth 20, and the knight levels are all worth 10. So it's very easy to score this game. You just add up the numbers on the cards that you have. Nothing in your hand counts against you, and nothing that in the discard counts against you.
So how many points you got?
How many points do I have?
I have 100, 200, I have 260 points, even though he went out, because the cards in my hand do not count against me.
So that's 150, that's 200, 240, 270.
Ooh, very close first hand. And that's how you play Behootensburg.
If you'd like to play Behootensburg, please you're welcome to come up to 2 Flights Up, where we'd be glad to teach you the game in person, as well as any of these other games that I've described to you before. Again, our game nights, we have a game night every Thursday from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And on every 3rd Saturday of the month, we have an all-day game day that goes from 11 until 10.
11 in the morning.
11 in the morning until 10 at night. So that's a long day of gaming. You don't have to come for the whole day, though. You can just come for part of it.
And the great news is it only costs you $5 for the whole month of a membership to come to 2 Flights Up for the gaming, which is really awesome. So if you take advantage, if you come every Thursday and come the 3rd Saturday of the month,
you're getting a great deal.
Getting a super deal, learning how to play some super great games. And if you want to purchase our game, you can do that as well. You can go get it on the net as well, but at our place you can get it and you don't have to pay any shipping because we've already paid it for you. If you have any questions, if you want to learn any of these games, or if you have a game at home that you got for Christmas and don't know how to play it, and the rules just don't make any sense.
Chances are somebody at our place knows how to do it. So if you want to come up and learn games, learn new games, or play old favorites, you can do them all at 2 Flights Up.
And just because we have a little bit of time, I want to tell you also that we have our dance nights. If you guys love dancing or think you have 2 left feet, I will guarantee that if you come dance with me, that I can teach you how to dance, and I can make those 2 left feet into 1 right and 1 left foot. That's a guarantee. Our next Absolute Beginners line dance class is going to be starting on the 20th of February. That is for anybody that has never ever danced before but would like to. We have a variety of ages from, I think 20 is probably the youngest person in our classes right now. The oldest person I think is somewhere around mid-80s. So we have a huge range. We get together on Mondays, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. This is what we have, our beginners dances, where people just come that already know a little bit how to dance. And a little bit more advanced we do later on in the evening then. On Tuesdays is the Absolute Beginners classes. Like I said, this one is ending on the 13th of February, restarting a new one, completely new, starting on the 20th of February. And it's $50 for 10 weeks of the Absolute Beginners class. Then we also have Wednesday mornings at 9:30 to 11 o'clock for beginners, absolute beginners. We play with whoever is there. Sometimes there's just beginners, sometimes more advanced. So, you know, whoever's there on Wednesday mornings is what we do. Then on Thursday, as you know, we have our game night. And then on the first Friday and the third Friday of the month, we have what we call line dance night just for you. That means we will do the dances you've been taught at 2 Flights Up. Plus, if you have some favorites, you can send me an email and say, I'd like this or that or whatever dance, and we will do that one as well.
And the Friday nights are more of a social occasion, so you can bring some snacks and drinks and help yourself, and it's a more relaxed atmosphere. It's not so much instruction, but more just out there dancing, having fun.
Yep, so that said, I don't teach. All I do is I do a one-wall walkthrough. But if someone says, can you do that again? We will do it again. And then Saturday mornings at 9:30 to 10 till 11 o'clock, we line dance again. I again do this one more on who's ever there. Absolute beginners, we do absolute beginners. More advanced, we do more advanced. It just depends on who's there and what kind of class we do. All the line dance classes are $6 a piece. You can also buy a pass for $50 is for 10 times dancing, and it doesn't matter whether you come every week, 3 times a week, it doesn't matter. Whenever you come, you just check off, so you're not paying if you're not there.
And you want to tell them about the Absolute Beginners class. If they sign up for that for $50, they not only get the Tuesday night classes, but they also are allowed to come to the Wednesday morning class and the Saturday morning class.
For free.
For free, and that's like 30 classes you could go to for only $50. Can't beat that deal.
That is really awesome. And like I said, I do guarantee that if you come dancing every Tuesday for the 10 weeks and you don't get at least 5 of those dances that you know, you will get your money back. What kind of deal is that, hey? Anything else?
Well, you can find out more at 2flightsup.com, and that's the numeral 2, flightsup.com, where we have our schedule of events that you can always check our calendar and see what's coming up.
Oh, and I do have to say, it's 2 flights up walking. We don't have an elevator, so we want to make sure at line dancing that your heart is working good. So walk up those stairs, and we're right above the Dalton restaurant, between the Dalton Bakery and Dalton Restaurant. Just walk up those stairs and come and see us.
Hope to see you soon.